.org. Well, speaking of health, how many of you monitor your health with an activity tracker like this one, right? Like the Fitbit. Okay, well, a man who recently had a seizure might be alive because of that device. Not because it counted his steps or measured the distance of his evening run, but something entirely different. Let's find out what happened in Medical Hot Topics. And on our panel today, please welcome orthopedic surgeon Dr. Vivek Kushwaha, hormone specialist Dr. Stephen Hotze, otolaryngologist Dr. Kevin Smith, and interventional radiologist Dr. Vasu Rao. Good morning. All right, so here's the deal. A 42-year-old man from New Jersey rushed to the hospital after having a seizure, and he had an irregular and fast heartbeat, and doctors used the data from the Fitbit to basically figure out what happened. We oftentimes say, as doctors, we want patients to be our partner, and sometimes we're not the best partner, but things like these like Fitbits can tell you something, can't they?
Yes, it can.
All right, thank you. All right, so
obviously it did. I had no idea that could be done. So somebody was on their toes at the emergency department when they checked that out.
Yeah. And of course, you can provide invaluable information because we don't always do that. Oftentimes, you'll ask us like, "How active are you?" Okay, so do you run a lot? Do you get a lot of exercise? Oh yes, I do a mile every 2 minutes. And this will tell you that you don't, right? And counting steps. How important are things like this in getting patients involved in their own health? Because I think a lot of people got these almost as a fad in the beginning. Right. It's like it's cool to wear one, so you think that I'm fit, right? You think I'm working on it? But how important is it for us to engage in our own health?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I think there's a lot of useful information that comes from these devices. The problem is there's no consistency to say this Apple device is as good as this Samsung device, so what information we're getting. So as physicians, it's hard to say, take that information and make clinical decisions based off of it. I think in the future, we're going to start seeing these things as real medical devices that have useful information that we can gauge.
Yeah, but by the same token, that we're actually doing this, right, I think is a good sign for patients, a good start. Absolutely.
Well, that's the most important thing. As an orthopedic surgeon, I want people to exercise and stay fit, and just having one of those things is a sign that you're taking responsibility for your own health. Yeah,
and you push yourself a little bit further every day. Okay, one of the things that a lot of people, I know Dr. Hotze, people come into you all the time, and one of the first symptoms of something that is bothering them is, I have no energy. It's like by 3 o'clock, I crash. I have no energy. So where do we turn? We turn to coffee, caffeine, teas, right? Well, apparently, the caffeine comes in different strengths, as we know. There's a single teaspoon of pure caffeine powder equal to 28 cups of coffee, and a lot of kids are actually taking this, and the FDA recommends that people avoid it. Senators actually want to ban it. So the poison is in the dose, if you will.
I would say that's Red Bull on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 28 times. 28 cups of coffee in 1 teaspoon.
Yeah. I actually have a friend whose son was studying for exams, and he kept drinking those energy drinks and ended up in the hospital, thought he was having a heart attack. So because it's caffeine and because it's okay in our coffee, is something we do every day, we think, oh, it's fine. But we forget that it's all about the dose, isn't it?
It is. Too much of anything is not good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, teenagers are always looking for advantages, whether it's for studying or for school. I mean, my own son asked me about how he could get adrenaline so he can do better in sports. And,
what did you say, doctor? Work out more, right?
I said you can't.
Yeah.
And the problem, it's so readily available. I mean, I looked online. You can buy that for $10 and get a kilogram of this powder for $10.
Yeah, it's crazy. People need to know what it does. And by the way, what does caffeine, too much of it, do in the body?
Stimulates your heart rate, can give you irregular heart rates, raises your blood pressure, migraines. I mean,
heart attack.
Yeah.
Stroke.
All right, and Dr. Hotze, you always say if you are looking for that energy replacement, you need to look at why you're looking for the energy replacement.
Exactly. What's the underlying cause? And oftentimes people buy these things through the internet. You go to your doctor, what does he give you? Adderall, or gives you Concerta or something like that. If you're tired and fatigued, they put you on some amphetamines. So probably there's a whole lot more people getting amphetamines from doctors trying to overcome their energy loss than they're getting it from this pure. So they need to look. It's funny where people look. They see this is a problem, and they don't really see the overuse of polypharmacy as a problem among physicians that treat them with these amphetamines.
That's a good point. There's a huge surge in diagnosis of ADHD.
Right.
And it's not because ADHD is that more common. It's because the people want
They want
the
their
medication.
They want the drugs.
Yeah.
Quick
All right,
fix.
they're addressing symptoms as opposed to addressing
Right.
the problem many times. All right, when we come back, from stuffy to sneezing, watery eyes to problems breathing, there's a medication to handle all those symptoms, but it's just temporary. Up next, a more permanent solution to your sinus problems.